Sairam children. So in today's class, we are going to start with new voices. We are going to start with a new chapter today. Children, tell me one thing. When you all go for some wedding or some puja or any function in your family, what type of clothes do you wear? Do you all wear the simple cotton ones which you daily wear? Or you all wear nice silk clothes and go? Yes, you all wear nice silk clothes whenever you go to any wedding or any function or any puja, right? Now, do you all have any idea, children, from where do we get the silk for these? How these clothes are made? From where do we get the silk? Do we get it from the plants? No, we don't get silk from the plants. Then from where do we get it? We get silk from silkworms. Yes, we get silk from silkworms. And adult moth lays eggs. Yes, from these eggs, caterpillars come out. These caterpillars feed on mulberry leaves. They eat the mulberry leaves and they grow bigger and bigger in size, almost 3 to 4 times bigger than their size. And when they have grown bigger, they stop eating and they rest. When we rest, children, when we are sleeping, we cover ourselves with a bed sheet or a blanket, right? The same way, these caterpillars make a cocoon around themselves to cover themselves. Okay? This cocoon is made out of the saliva that comes from their mouth. Now they rest inside the cocoon, they turn into a pupa, and after some days, this pupa develops into an adult moth once again, comes out of the cocoon, and flies off. This cocoon is used to get silk threads. This cocoon is put into boiling water and they separate and you get silk threads out of it. Okay, so egg, from the egg you get caterpillar, that is the larva stage. The caterpillar, when it's grown big enough, makes a cocoon to cover itself. Then from the cocoon comes out the adult moth, and this cocoon is used to get silk thread, from which we make silk cloth. Okay, so see the picture here. This is how a cocoon looks. From this cocoon we get silk thread. Then these threads are dyed, that means they are colored different colors, and then they are woven into clothes. Yes, so from where do we get this? Who found this out? When was the first time we came to know that a silkworm is used to get silk? Yes, this is what we are going to learn in our today's chapter, chapter 7, China silk. Okay, before we start with the lesson, as usual, we are going to learn the new words that come in the lesson. Okay, so children, you're going to take out your rough book. Yes, write down, note down the words that I'm saying. You're going to repeat it after me also, and then later on, after the class is over, you're going to learn these words and write them 3 times in your rough book. Yes, so write today's date in your rough book. Write the heading chapter 7, China silk, and on the top you write new words. Yes, write the date, write chapter 7, China silk. The name of the lesson is China silk. Then the next line, write new words. Okay, so the first word is noticed. N-O-T-I-C-E-D, noticed. Children, you're going to repeat it after me. N-O-T-I-C-E-D, T-I-C-E-D, noticed. N-O-T-I-C-E-D, noticed. Yes? The next word is proud. P-R-O-U-D, proud. P-R-O-U-D, proud. P-R-O-U-D, proud. The next one is confined. C-O-N-F-I-N-E-D, confined. C-O-N-F-I-N-E-D, confined. Confined means trapped or locked. C-O-N-F-I-N-E-D, confined. Done? The next word is elaborate. E-L-A-B-O-R-A-T-E, elaborate. E-L-A-B-O-R-A-T-E, elaborate. Elaborate means in detail. Yes? E-L-A-B-O-R-A-T-E, elaborate. Done? The next one, amuse. A-M-U-S-E, amuse. A-M-U-S-E, amuse. Amuse someone means to make someone happy. Okay? The next is weave. W-E-A-V-E, weave. W-E-A-V-E, weave. W-E-A-V-E, weave. The next one is sipped. S-I-P-P-E-D, sipped. S-I-P-P-E-D, sipped. Sipping your hot milk, yes, or sipping water, that is sipped. S-I-P-P-E-D, sipped. S-P-R-E-A-D, spread. S-P-R-E-A-D, spread. S-P-R-E-A-D, spread. The next word is demand. D-E-M-A-N-D, demand. D-E-M-A-N-D, demand. The next is traded. T-R-A-D-E-D, traded. T-R-A-D-E-D, traded. Traded means buying or selling, giving something in exchange of something. So traded. T-R-A-D-E-D, traded. The next is reveal. R-E-V-E-A-L, reveal. R-E-V-E-A-L, reveal. The next word is surrounded. S-U-R-R-O-U-N-D-E-D, surrounded. S-U-R-R-O-U-N-D-E-D, surrounded. S-U-R-R-O-U-N-D-E-D, surrounded. The next is exchanged. E-X-C-H-A-N-G-E-D, exchanged. E-X-C-H-A-N-G-E-D, exchanged. The next is gathered. G-A-T-H-E-R-E-D, gathered. G-A-T-H-E-R-E-D, gathered. G-A-T-H-E-R-E-D, gathered. Yes? And the next one is manufacture. Manufacture. M-A-N-U-F-A-C T-U-R-E, manufacture. M-A-N-U-F-A-C-T-U-R-E, manufacture. M-A-N-U-F-A-C-T-U-R-E, manufacture. Yes? Have you all written it down, children? Okay? So after this class gets over, you all are going to learn these new words and write them 3 times in your rough book. Okay? Yes. Now let's frame some sentences. I have some words for you and we are going to frame sentences. Okay? The first one is confined. Confined. Can you think of a sentence? Confined means trapped or locked. Confined. Now I have a sentence for you here. Let's see the sentence. The doctor confined the patients to the hospital room. The doctor confined the patients to the hospital room. The doctor confined the patients to the hospital room. Yes? Understood, children? Let's see the next word. Weave. Yes, weave is making cloth from threads. Weave. So, can you think of a sentence? Yes? Now, let's see what sentence I'm having here. The village women used to weave clothes for their own use. The village women used to weave clothes for their own use. The village women used to weave clothes for their own use. Yes? Now let's see the third one. Amuse. Amuse, to make someone happy. Yes? So let's see what sentence we have here. The magician showed some tricks to amuse all the children in the party. The magician is the one who's showing magic, right? The magician showed some tricks to amuse all the children in the party. The magician showed some tricks to amuse all the children in the party. Done? Shall we move ahead? Okay. The fourth word is elaborate. Elaborate means in detail. Yes, elaborate. So let's see the sentence. Ria prepared an elaborate speech for the Independence Day celebration. Ria prepared an elaborate speech for the Independence Day celebration. Ria prepared an elaborate speech for the Independence Day celebration. The next word, gathered. Gathered means to collect. Yes, gathered. So let's see the sentence that we have. The golden corn looked very pretty, gathered in heaps in the field. Heaps means like mountain. Yes, so golden corn was collected and kept in heaps in the field. So the sentence we have used here is, the golden corn looked very pretty, gathered in heaps in the fields. The golden corn looked very pretty, gathered in heaps in the fields. Okay, children, clear? Shall we move ahead? Okay. So let's start with the lesson. Chapter 7, China Silk. Now children, we have already completed till our chapter 5. Chapter 6 is a poem which we are omitting for this year. We don't have chapter 6 for this year. Okay. So we are directly going to chapter 7. Now chapter 7, we are going to do it in 2 parts. We'll do the first part today and the next part in our next class. Okay. So chapter 7, China Silk. It is written by Sudha Murthy. She is an Indian social worker who was born in 1950. She writes stories in Kannada and in English. Her collection of stories, How I Taught My Grandmother to Read and Other Stories, bring forth her memories and experiences with her grandparents. Sudha Murthy has written many short stories for children. One of her books is How I Taught My Grandmother to Read. Yes, all her stories are based on her memories and her experiences with her grandparents. When she was small, whatever memories or experiences she had with her grandparents, she has written these stories based on that. Okay, so this story, China Silk, is also written by Sudha Murthy. Okay, so shall we start? Okay, chapter 7, China Silk. A long time ago, in a tiny village in China, there lived a poor girl from a weaver's family. One day, the emperor was passing through the village and saw her working in the fields. Okay, who's an emperor? An emperor means a king. So, this is the story of a tiny village in China where a poor girl from a weaver's family, that means the whole family used to weave cloth. Okay, they all were staying in a small tiny village, and one day the emperor means the king, who was passing through the village, saw her working in the fields. He noticed her proud bearing and her rough and work worn hands, which meant she worked very hard through the year. He immediately fell in love with her and decided to marry her. Looking at her, he came to know that she was a very hard-working girl. The girl married the ruler of the land and went to live in his palace as his beloved queen. Yes, so she got married to the king, the ruler, and she went to live in his palace and she became the queen, right? King's wife, so she became the queen. But she was unhappy. She had grown up in the wide open spaces of the countryside and now she was confined to a palace. She was not happy in the palace. Why? Because she had grown up in the wide open spaces of her countryside, that is, of the village. There were open fields, open space, she could run. But now she was confined to a palace. She was trapped in a palace. She could not move out freely. So she was not happy. She was used to working from dawn to night without a moment's rest. But now she had many servants to take care of her needs and did not know how to fill her time. She was used to working from dawn. Dawn means before sunrise, she used to start working until night. She used to work without a moment's rest. But now she was the queen. She had so many servants in her palace, so she did not have to do anything. They took care of her needs, and she did not know how to spend her time, so she started getting bored. That's why she was unhappy. In the village, she had been surrounded by family and friends who exchanged news and gossip as they worked. But in the palace, it was quiet and no one spoke out of turn. The emperor noticed his wife was sad and tried his best to make her happy. In the village, all her relatives, her friend used to be there with her. They all worked together. They used to talk, have fun, gossip. Yes, so she was very happy there. But in the palace, she was the queen. There was nobody around her, and the servants would not speak to her out of turn. So she was very sad, and the emperor noticed, the emperor, that is the king, he noticed that his wife was sad and he tried to do everything possible to make her happy. He bought her grand clothes and artifacts. He threw elaborate parties and hired the best musicians of the land to amuse her. Yet she was sad. He tried to do everything that he could for her. He bought her grand clothes, he brought jewels and artifacts, he threw elaborate parties, big parties, and hired the best musicians of the land to amuse her, to make her happy. But she was sad. Artifacts means objects of historical or cultural importance. Yes, and elaborate means in detail. I told you it's in detail. Okay. One afternoon, the empress sat under a mulberry bush in her garden, lost in her thoughts about her village. She slowly sipped hot water from a cup. Staring up at the blue sky, the girl remembered the birds that flew over her village. One afternoon, the empress, that is the queen, she sat under a mulberry bush in her garden, lost in her own thoughts. She was thinking about her village, her relatives, her friends, and she was sitting there and she slowly sipped hot water from a cup. Staring up at the blue sky, she saw the birds that flew and she remembered the birds that flew over her village. So she started thinking about her village and she was sitting under the mulberry bush. Then, sighing softly to herself, she picked up her cup to take another sip. But what was this? A cocoon from the mulberry bush had dropped into the hot water. But then she took a closer look and she saw some threads peeping out from the cocoon. Thinking about her village as she sat looking in the sky, then sighing sadly, she was very sad. Then slowly she said, okay, now what to do? I have to sit like this only. She picked up her cup to take another sip, cup of hot water to take one more sip. And when she was going to take the sip, she saw something in it. What was it? She saw that a cocoon from the mulberry bush had fallen into the hot water. But then, when she took a closer look, she saw that some threads were coming out of the cocoon. Yes, so what were these threads? What did she find and what did she do with it? We will be seeing this in our next class. Okay, children? So I'll stop the lesson here. We'll continue in our next class. But then I have some exercises for you. I have some words here and you have to write the past tense of these words. Okay? The first one is notice, confine, take, keep, weave, and wear. You can write down these words and write the past tense for these words in your book. After you've done it, I'll show you the right answers. Yes, and you can check whether you have written it correctly. The first word is notice. Second is confine. Third one is take. Fourth is keep. Fifth is weave. And sixth is wear. Have you all written? So shall we see what is the answer? First one, the past tense of notice is noticed. N-O-T-I-C-E-D, noticed. Yes. Second one, confine. The past tense of confine is confined. C-O-N-F-I-N-E-D, confined. Third is take. So the past tense of take is took. T-O-O-K, took. Fourth one, keep. The past tense of keep is K-E-P-T, kept. K-E-P-T, kept. Fifth one, weave. Past tense is wove. V-O-V-E, wove. And the sixth one, wear. W-E-A-R, wear. The past tense of wear is Wore. W-O-R-E. Wore. Yes? Done with this? So the next exercise I have is give the opposites of. You have to give me the opposites of these words. First one is happy, second is quiet, third is slow, fourth is pulled, and fifth is strong. Yes, have you written down? Happy, quiet, slow, pulled, strong. I'll repeat it again. Happy, quiet, slow, pulled, strong. Yes? So write down the opposites of these words and then I'll show you the answers. Shall we see the answers? The opposite of happy is unhappy or sad. You can write unhappy also or you can write sad also. So the opposite of the opposite of happy is unhappy or sad. The next one, quiet. The opposite of quiet is noisy. Quiet, noisy. Third one, slow. The opposite of slow is fast. F-A-S-T, fast. Fourth one, pulled. The opposite of pulled is pushed. P-U-S-H-E-D, pushed. So opposite of pulled is pushed. And the fifth one, strong. Opposite of strong is weak. W-E-A-K, weak. W-E-A-K, weak. Yes, children. So you all have done this, completed. Okay. Now, children, we're going to stop here. We'll continue the part 2 in our next class. Till then, I want you all to learn the new words that we have done today. Write them 3 times in your rough book and also go through what we have done and read the lesson till where we have done and also learn the past tense and the opposites that we have done today. Okay? See you then. Bye. Saira.